sides of my and the features that are available in Microsoft Azure that can provide lift and shifting to Microsoft Azure on-premises. So I hope to share some of my insights that you can use in your environment as well. So first off, who am I? I'm Christian Winkel. I can make a small announcement right now. So I just joined Logix as so pretty excited about it. Always been supporting products and they're doing great stuff. So
yeah, wait till you've worked with me for a while. You'll
yeah.
Hey Jim, we can retire.
Yeah.
So did you guys see Jim yesterday looking like this? That was before the signing.
Oh wow.
Oh wow. Alright, brilliant.
Okay, go back in.
Don't do that again. Yeah, never do that again.
Let's see if we can collaborate.
Make mental note, never hang out with Christian.
So I'm obviously from the Netherlands, the land of Stoorwald and windmills, and I'm living in Groningen, which is nearby Nijmegen, Arnhem, which you probably can know from World War II. On my socials at Brinkman's Garcia and my own blog, christianwickel.com, and I'm an Azure MVP since CCG and as well. So I just became a father of a beautiful daughter 4 months ago. And I learned yesterday some stuff about GDPR. So it's not the same app, but it's okay. So, as being said in the beginning of the presentation, I'm sharing the lift and shift approaches from on-premise to Microsoft Azure, which you can do with Azure Migrate in combination with Azure Site Consultant, which I'm going to explain in some later slides. Talking a bit about the architecture, how it all comes into place, to achieve that goal. The top 10 savings of using resources in Microsoft Azure. So where you normally lift and shift, you get a very huge amount of money that you need to pay to run your instances in Microsoft Azure. So there are some savings that you can provide. So I will share that with you guys. And I have a pretty awesome quiz at the end and the takeaways. And the quiz is the Stoorwald quiz. So I bought a box of Stoorwald. There are 100 inside or something. So when you answer the questions correctly as fast as you can take the boxes home. So.
Are they with weed? No?
If you want to exchange it for weed or something, I have the invoice so you can go back to it. So, who here has a grandma or grandfather in the audience that knows what cloud computing is? Probably you will get an answer like this, computers can fly.
Hey look, all the grandfathers at E2E should know what cloud computing is.
Yeah.
Did you just get that? That took a while, didn't it?
Let's get that. So yeah. It's just someone else's computer, so you know what it is. Did you know that Azure West Europe, the region, is in Amsterdam actually? So this is in the industrial place, 10 kilometers nearby. And there's the West Europe data center. So and they're currently expanding it, more resources can land in a specific region. So it's close down that go-kart track next door. Oh, which one? The go-kart track next door. The go-kart.
Yeah, it's a go-kart. It's a racetrack. I knew it.
That's fun. They probably don't have to do anything because it's all automated. Amazon lost cloud market share last quarter of 2017. And yeah, that explains how Azure is dominating right now with features. So they even buy projects at the moment from competitors. So it's really awesome to see as being an Azure MVP. But even the politics, even Trump choose for Microsoft Azure as well. So and Alex makes the platform great again. So yeah, currently a lot of customers looking to Azure that don't know where they are standing right now or which road they need to follow to accomplish that step, this migration path. So what I'm seeing in the Netherlands is that most of the people or most of the companies using Office 365 and they want to expand with Azure AD tend to infrastructure as a service, for example, or Azure Active Directory domain services, or all the services that are available in Azure. So that's the walk, jog, one approach that I'm seeing in the migration strategy. But yeah, eventually we will end up in some kind of public cloud, which is Azure. How long it takes and how long the legacy Windows applications will be available in the new container solutions or in the SaaS model, that takes some time. So then, you have a lift and shift approach, so you can lift and shift your on-premise servers, your hypervisor layer to Azure. That's one of the approaches, but it's not the cheapest approach. So it's very cost-effective to provide that. But the best way is to modify your application and your data center solution and make it more agile, innovating, and eventually save money on that. And also the management layer will decrease in the amount of time that you need to spend to maintain your environment. So this diagram is very interesting to see the different approaches to migrate to Microsoft Azure.
Can you speak a little louder?
Yeah, the battery was up from the microphone. I will try. You have the greenfield scenario, which goes to the lift and shift, and then to can it be containerized, and then you come on the infrastructure as a service, and you can go to the right direction, and then you can end up as well in the infrastructure as a service. And all the other directions are the model-wise strategy, so redefining the application and make it more in a containerization solution. So the different ways to lift and shift to Microsoft Azure. What options do you have in Microsoft Azure at this moment? So which services are available from within Azure? You can also try to buy a fog machine and place in your own data center and say that you are inside the cloud. But that's not how you should do it. So you have three options at this moment. You can use Azure Migrate, which is more an advisory tool to make a translation from on-premise to Azure. So you see the results in cost that it will take, which will result in Microsoft Azure. So your manager can see what the cost will be when it's translated to Azure. Then you have Azure Site Recovery. And with Azure Site Recovery, you can migrate your on-premise workloads to Azure. And Azure Site Recovery is originally a disaster recovery solution. And you can also fill over and don't fill back. So you can also use it as business shift strategy. And you have as well the manual conversion method, so you can convert it to VHC and then upload it to Microsoft Azure. So as being said, Azure Migrate is an advisory assessment tool. So it calculates your resources on-prem to an Azure cloud perspective. It needs to have an agent installed in your on-premise data center, and it's providing license discovery based on VMware vCenter. So Hyper-V is currently not available, So you can only provide Azure Migrate with VMware vCenter at this moment. And you can also provide a deeper in-depth discovery by installing agents, which you can download from the Azure portal. And what you can see in the VDI like quote survey is that VMware is still one of the most popular hypervisors at the moment in on-premises scenarios. But later on, Hyper-V will be added as well. So how looks Azure Migrate in a more architectural way? Firstly, you need to have a vCenter server in your on-premise data center. Then you download the appliance from the Azure portal, from the Azure Migrate service. You import the OV file, the VMware file. It's called the collector VM, so it collects all the the resources for providing the translation, and that all the information that is collected will be transferred to Microsoft Azure to SSL, and all that metadata will eventually land in the portal, and that can be downloaded. So I will show you how all the steps needs to be done. So you go to Azure, to the marketplace. You search for Azure Migrate. You give it a random name, a subscription, and a resource group. And there are currently 2 data center locations supported, so more will be added later on. And then you switch over to the service. And then you need to download the appliance. And the appliance is just a Windows Server 2012 appliance, which is pre-curated, so you only need to start it and run the initial configuration. But it has a shortcut on the desktop, which is the initial configuration process. So it's automatically started with the prerequisites. And then you need to enter in the vCenter, qualified domain or IP address, and the full admin credentials to provide the collection of the metadata. And when that is done, you need to select a cluster in the VMware host environment. So it collected 11 servers in my data center. Now you need to connect with the project ID and project key to Microsoft Azure from the appliance. And now it starts connecting and collecting, and when it all is done, you can switch over to Microsoft Azure and see all the metadata in the portal. So you can open the assessment, and then you can see that there are 30 machines collected. And what the cost will be when you are going to lift and shift the environment to Microsoft Azure, and which the provided tool, suggested tool will be to provide that lift and shift migration strategy. And you have also an option to export the calculation to an Excel sheet. And that is very easy to give to your IT manager to show some insights what it will cost in Microsoft Azure. So that looks like this. So Azure Site Recovery, as being said in one of the first slides, is originally a disaster recovery service to provide replication of your on-premise data center to Microsoft Azure in a standby perspective, so you don't need to have standby hardware in that in the data center, and all the data centers. It's only replicating the data or the DVs or VSD or VMDKs to Microsoft Azure and place it in a storage block. And when you start the fill over, it will create from the storage block VSDs and an actual VM in Microsoft Azure. So it's very easy to migrate, and you can provide zero application data loss through the RPO and RTO settings that you can provide. It's supported for physical and Azure to Azure as well, so you can also replicate from an Azure data center to another data center region. Hyper-V is supported because it's Microsoft, so I think it integrates with 2012 R2 and 2016 server. And it supports replication of Nano and Linux servers as well. And it's free for 30 days, so when you want to migrate within the 30 days, you can do it completely free. So that's pretty awesome. Sorry, Alex, it's not supported for X0. So how does that look like in a more architectural way? So in a Hyper-V on-premise scenario to Microsoft Azure, you only need to install the agent on the on-premises Hyper-V servers, and then you activate the replication, and then you transfer the servers to the storage block environment, and then you can provide the failover, so the servers are running in Microsoft Azure infrastructure service. When you choose to do it for VMware or physical servers, or maybe from an AWS infrastructure service, the cloud provider perspective, you need to do more. So you need to place a config and process server in that specific data center, which will perform the replication process. Upon that, you still need to install the agents on the virtual machines, and then the replication takes place, and then you provide the migration, the lift and shift migration to Azure. So how does that look like in the console? So first you need to purchase the recovery services fault, which is Azure Site Recovery in Azure. So I have created an ASR demo, and they are very easy wizards active that easily walk you through the steps that needs to be done. I choose for VMware, and it will ask again to install an appliance which is similar as the appliance as for the Azure Migrate, but then with the replication stuff inside. I don't show the deployment of the appliance because we already saw it in the Azure Migrate demo. So then the appliance is found, and you switch over to the recovery policy. And there you set the settings of the RPO and the RTO, which is normally for disaster recovery scenarios, but you can use it for the lift and shift as well. And then you are good to go to provide the settings of the process server. And when that is all done, and you set up the storage account, which the replication must take in place, you can select the machine. So now it's the network VNet settings in Azure are now already done. And now we need to select machines which needs to be lifted and shifted to Microsoft Azure. Here you can provide a service account to install the agents, so you can provide a remote installation of the agent as well. And when it is all done, you see the replication status of all the VMs in Microsoft Azure, and you can provide the failover, which is pretty easy. But before you do that, you can also set some settings, such as the computer name or IP address. And when you click on the machine, you can perform a failover. So I click test failover, and then it will shut down your on-premise machine automatically through VMware, and then start it up in Azure. And then it's done. How easy can it be to migrate the workload to Azure? And here it is. the Active Directory server is migrated to my Azure subscription, and I perform an RDP, and it works, so I can provide my complete environment after this to Microsoft Azure. And there's as well the manual conversion, so that's very time consuming if you have a very large enterprise environment. So I don't suggest you to do that. But when you do it, I prefer to convert to VMDK or another hypervisor to VHD and then convert it, migrate it with this kind of PowerShell commandos, or the storage Explorer, which is free to download, and then create a VM, remove the original disk, and then attach it as managed disk to a very easy wizard. So that's one of the other approaches. And when you look at Citrix and ASR, Azure Site Recovery, it's also possible to replicate your Citrix environment to ASR, to Microsoft Azure, but you need to be aware that Netscaler is an original Linux VPX, so that machine cannot be replicated to Azure, so you need to work around that to GSLB, for example. So what about the top savings to use resources in Microsoft Azure? So it's just like Jerry McGuire, show me the money. So one of the approaches is using the hybrid use benefit program, which is only possible when you have an on-premise software assurance within Microsoft Azure. And then you get a discount on the infrastructure services in Azure. So the operating system license will be taken part of the resource cost. So eventually you can save up to 40% of your infrastructure as a service cost. When you don't have an SA on the operation system level on premise, I don't advise you to buy it to save money. So it's only a benefit when you already have it in place in your on-premise environment. So when you have, it's very easy to make use of that. So when you create a machine, you just select at the down bottom when you save money and you activate the hybrid use benefit program. That's it. And when you select the machine, you can see that the cost now is $11, and when you repeat it and set the hybrid use benefit on now, you'll see that the machine is increasing in money. So it's 40% increasing in the resource cost. So it's definitely cheaper to use it, and it's sort of a fair use policy. So Microsoft is not checking it at the moment if you are compliant with doing this setting. So you are free to use it, but when they are checking it, then you can get a fine or something. But it's definitely one to be aware of. Another one is using reserved instances in Microsoft Azure. So you can reserve virtual machines for 1 or 3 years. So you will get a discount to use for the 3 years the amount of servers in Microsoft Azure. So you can do that through the Azure Marketplace. Just search for the reserved VM instances, and you can select then the amount of servers that you want to reserve for the 3 years, and then you're good to go. That's all what it is. Another tip is place the virtual machines to status deallocated. So don't shut down the VM, but go to the portal and shut it down on this button, on the stop button. And then the status will change and stop deallocated, and that will mean that there are no resource charging at this moment to this specific machine. So they are now completely running free in Azure. Another approach is using auto shutdown. So that's a menu option within Azure under the VM menu. And here you can schedule to shut down a VM after working hours, for example. So that eventually will also save money. And you can also provide it with Azure automation, and then you can do more in-depth steps on that. So you can start them as well. So you can make complete power strategies for your virtual machine environment, and that will significantly save a lot of money. Another tip is to use regions wisely. So some regions are not the same pricing as other regions. Take for example Azure Central US. The price there from a DS1 version 2 server is 73 euros, and when you look at Azure West US, it's 6 euros expensive for it. So you can save money on that region choice as well. And another approach is to change and replace SMB shares to storage blob accounts. So you can use the public URL of the storage blob and replace your SMB share by that. So only one thing to keep in mind is that the speed is it's lower than using it in the same VNet. So that is one thing you need to be aware of. But if you have no requirements on that kind of speed level, that's definitely one of the approaches that can save you money on using storage in Microsoft Azure. And another one is using Azure Marketplace VMs instead of migrating or lift and shifting servers. So when you buy virtual machines in the Azure Marketplace, sometimes they are cheaper because the licensing is not fully charged on the infrastructure cost. And use Azure App Services to replace IIS, your web services, which are completely running on a complete load balance server instance in Microsoft Azure on 2 servers, which you can also migrate to app service, and then you only buy a certain amount of instance of a shared environment, so as well save a lot of money. And the last one is using Azure Dev Tests for testing and development environments. So with that, you will be placed on a smaller amount of servers in the data center, but then on other servers, and that is much cheaper than the normal production infrastructure as a service. And I saw that 2 guys giving a session on this subject tomorrow. So definitely, if you are interested in that, to go to that session tomorrow. And in my opinion, we will eventually all end up in the cloud. So now we have the quiz, the stroke quiz. So you need to grab your phone and then go to kahoot.it. Let's start the stroke quiz now. So why did the kitten shoot himself?
That's too easy.
Next question. Okay, my time is ready. This one is a bit difficult. Make a guess. again my time.
I didn't know, eh?
You will get a lot of profiles to do.
Hoop Citrix, hè?
Well, how many Azure AD users are registered in Azure by the end of 2017? It's a 33% chance, so and again.
And that's 5 questions.
Did you hack my laptop? Okay, this one is very easy.
Do you want me to distract him?
Yeah.
It's over there.
Just evening.
Okay.
Need to work harder.
Last question.
Same server.
Okay, let's see who won.
Oh.
Okay, who is it?
I did.
Okay. So you're the lucky winner then. So you can share with your colleagues.
Nope.
A billion calories.
So the power switch was off of the
That's why I'm saying no battery.
yeah. So yeah, the only slide that I left was the takeaway. So the takeaways are simply that you can use Azure Migrate just as an advisory tool and Azure Site Recovery as a migration tool. So there were some more and they are coming right now. My laptop is booting. So the key takeaways are that it's only supported for VMware at the moment, Azure Migrate. Linux is supported as well for migration, only not the Netscaler VPX. And yeah, reserve instance can save you up to 40% of resource costs in Microsoft Azure. So yeah, that was my presentation of today, so thank you for